Have you ever looked at something and just felt like it was more valuable or impressive than something else, even when they're pretty much the same? Well, it turns out it often has way less to do with the thing itself and everything to do with what's sitting right next to it. It all comes down to one simple but really powerful idea. Let's dive in. So that brings us to the big question, right? How do you take a totally normal product and make it seem, I don't know, special, extraordinary even? The answer is so simple you won't believe it. You just change what you compare it to. And to really see this in action, we're going to start with a brilliant, super low-tech example that you might see any day of the week. Let's talk about the local fish shop. Okay, so check this out. It's such a simple visual trick. In a big supermarket, the fish usually fits perfectly inside its little styrofoam box. It looks fine, but at the local shop, the fish is overflowing, spilling over the edges of the container. It's not magic, and the fish isn't really any bigger. They just use smaller boxes. That one tiny change, that simple act of comparison, makes their fish look huge, super fresh, and like you're getting a fantastic deal. Okay, so that works for physical size, but what happens when we take this idea and apply it to something way more abstract, like price? This is where framing can have a huge financial impact, especially when you're talking about luxury goods. So imagine this. You're walking past a fancy jewelry store, and you see this price tag in the window. $1 million for a necklace. It's a number designed to just stop you in your tracks, right? It's almost ridiculous. This little trick, it's called setting an anchor price. It plants this extreme number in your head. Now you walk inside the store. After seeing that $1 million anchor, you start looking at wedding rings, and you see one for $5,000. I mean, think about it. In any other situation, $5,000 is a lot of money. But compared to $1 million, all of a sudden, it feels reasonable, almost like a bargain, right? Your whole perception of value has been completely twisted. And this is not just a hypothetical. Get this. Montblanc used this exact strategy with their Royal ballpoint pen. They made a pen that was worth $1 million. So did anyone buy it? Nope, not a single one. But here's the kicker. That was never the point. The whole goal was to make their other pens, the ones that cost between $3,000 and $4,000, seem affordable by comparison. And you know what? Sales for those pens shot through the roof. That $1 million pen was just the ultimate anchor. So this isn't just some high-level marketing trick for giant companies. You can actually use this same psychology in your own life to make what you say feel more important. Think about, say, a simple thank you note. Instead of scribbling your message from edge to fill up the card, try leaving a nice, big margin all the way around. By framing your words in all that empty space, the message itself just feels more thoughtful, more significant. See what you're doing? It's the same small box trick we saw with the fish, but you're doing it with your words. All right, let's pull all these examples together. We've got the fish, the super expensive jewelry, and even a simple handwritten note. They all point to one fundamental, kind of mind-blowing principle of how our brains work. And there's actually a name for this. It's called relative comparison. Our brains are just wired this way. We don't really have some kind of internal meter for what something is worth all on its own. Instead, we're constantly scanning what's around us and making judgments based on context and, you guessed it, comparison. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. In business, in life, what people see is only half the story. The other half, the much more powerful half, is what they compare it to. Because value isn't something that's just there. It's created. So the real question is, now that you know the trick, what are you going to start framing differently?